All right, fellas, we'll start with the Calgary Flames as we continue to narrow down the candidates for their next head coach. This from our insider at Daily Faceoff, Frank Seravalli. Gerard Gallant, too expensive, not a candidate for the Calgary Flames. This is something we've sort of kicked around. The track record's phenomenal with Gerard, but with that track record comes a pretty price tag relative to, say, I don't know, someone that's never coached a game in the NHL before. Thoughts?
It was again one of those things where nice to think that a guy of that ilk was in the conversation, I guess, but I never really felt like he was going to be a guy. There's no ties to Calgary. There's no. There was no
feel
real
like the right fit.
No, and there's other jobs available, right? He's not going to the Rangers, we know that, but there are some other gigs, and he was gassed out of New York, making good money. You can sit and be patient when you're making that kind of clink not to work.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like a fit to me. He's making too much. And when you get gassed after the success that you have in all these places, something's not
right.
Frank alluded to that 3 weeks ago, and it was a little bit eyebrow raising. Like, okay, well, he's well connected. If that's what he's hearing, that does explain these short tenures despite winning track records. Like Vegas, that's just crazy. That stupid major penalty ended his run there. Like,
and on top,
how are you getting this guy fired? And it's like, okay, there must be something.
And on top of all of that, don't you feel like whoever the coach is going to have to be somewhat in that same mold as Conroy?
Unless we say, but
Conroy / Iginla
felt odd.
Yeah, I just feel like doesn't feel like a Conroy fit to me.
Okay, we'll move on. Calgary Flames today have to sign 5 players, or they are gonzo prospects out of the organization. It's not a star-studded list of future NHL superstars, but there are some curious names in here. Here are the 5 fellows. The interesting one in my mind is 2021 sixth-rounder Jack Beck, who has battled injuries, smaller, but has piled up numbers when he's been healthy in the Ontario Hockey League with the 67s. So keep an eye for any signings today. I wouldn't expect all 5 get signed. I also wouldn't expect that 0 of the 5 would get signed. We'll see what happens before the end of the day, as they would be lost as the rights to the Flames holding them.
When's that Cole Huckins new album coming out?
That new summertime. Cole Huckins single drops Thursday.
I love. There's nothing better than when the temperature's warm, you crank the windows down and the volume up on some Cole Huckins. Damn. Stampede, let's go.
Love that Cole Huckins.
Yep.
Steel guitar. It's beautiful stuff. So we move from Flames news to league news, and yes, you knew it was official when Boston Pizza tweeted, "Congratulations, life is good with a Treliving at the helm." That is admin at Boston Pizza getting their tweets out, directed at the Maple Leafs, who indeed said Treliving's been hired. We talked about that yesterday at length. We heard the clips earlier today. One stipulation that we wondered about and speculated not going to be a full participant at the upcoming NHL draft, according to sources for Chris Johnston. Won't be allowed to get to the draft table. It sounds like they do hold a first rounder, not their own, but 28th overall. They got a first rounder back in the Rasmus Sandin swap that they sent him to Washington. And there was a bunch of D in and out. They had 9D at the end. Crazy.
9. So what's Tree going to do?
I don't know. With the technology and the internet, it's going to be really
go for some beers. I was going to say. Maybe Cole Huckins is playing at Legends.
He's going to have a lovely rooftop spot booked or set aside for all the fellas after the draft is over. They can come over. He's going to have it all taken care of.
Shanny! Hey! Shanny!
You're
I got us a table! Hey, we're back here! Fucking around, let's go! Who do we get? Do we get Bedard?
Not the only GM news. The Penguins, just an hour before the Brad Treliving press conference or so, announced they've hired Kyle Dubas, the Poho Rhett. He will serve as interim GM until he hires a GM. And Elliot Friedman alluded to this title maybe because of some sort of contractual things where he's still under contract for the Leafs, and so to hire him now, it's a
you got to
different
bump
title.
up.
It's not GM. Yeah. Some of these POs kind of operate as GMs anyway. Joe Sakic is now president of Hockey Ops, and Chris McFarland, I believe is his name, is now the GM in name. So we'll see what this means. Sharp guy. Who does he hire? Rhett, has he called you about the GM position? Have you called him? Can we get a cover letter sent to him?
Maybe
you like Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, a couple hours
away.
Great ballpark.
Yeah.
Great ballpark.
Can't
great
cheer
ballpark.
for the Steelers, but that's okay.
You can't?
No.
Well, Jack's a big Steeler guy. He's shaking his head right now. Not happy with you. You guys see who's coaching in the Memorial Cup for the Quebec Rampart?
I did.
Denny Goche.
Close. Pat Roy. Watch Patty on the bench. If you think this guy's just mailing it in and collecting a paycheck, we got the ISO cam on Wah from this is yesterday's game. I believe Peterborough beat Quebec, which is odd because Peterborough sucked and Quebec looked the best. And then this tournament gets some nervous at some time. This is just all Pat Wah. Eh? Keep an eye. So, okay, no big deal. We just scored. Nothing. Okay, get a little face. Whoa, watch out. Puck's coming by. Oh, fist bumps. Let's go. Yes. One assistant. There's the other. Oh, he's not happy. Hands on hips.
It's on his chin.
Rejected. Oh, he's looking.
Yeah, he's got the full beard.
Beard with full white.
Yeah.
It looks like it's one of those COVID masks. He's just got it on his chin.
I honestly, I was like, I didn't care. I was curious. I was like, it is that white. Good for you, Patty.
Yeah, that guy's fire still burns is probably the least surprising thing ever. I mean, he was 100%. A red ass from day one.
Yep.
I
can't hear you. I got my Stanley Cup rings in my ears. I don't know why he sounds like Bob Hartley, but we're trying here.
That's close.
Why is he not back in the league? Did he burn some bridges on his way?
He's too much, I think.
Yeah, even watching him, I'm like, that's busy.
Honestly, I think he was too much for guys.
Left him high and dry too. Bye, Rhett.
See you, Rhett.
Peter's done again.
Yeah, there you go, Rhett. A couple other things.
Plug
we
it
know
in,
the Oakland
Rhett.
Athletics have had a miserable start to the season. We're talking like historically bad for the the Oakland A's. How bad? Well, the Portland Pickles have outdrawn them, Dean. The Portland Pickles.
Delicious.
Yeah.
You know what, though? And they're getting raked for the fans in Oakland for not going out.
It's not the fans.
The team stinks, and they're leaving, and they've told you they've wanted to leave for years and years. The ballpark stinks. I don't know.
Spending no money on the roster. They trade all their star players. The fans are not the problem. The lack of fans is not an issue. The owner being a prick's the biggest problem in Oakland, and nobody wants to go to Vegas. So, yeah, the Portland Pickles are outdrawing the A's so far this year in attendance.
I saw a thing, kind of a, whatever they call it, a concept diagram of where the potential ballpark would go, kind of right by MGM and Mandalay Bay down there on the Strip. Holy jumping. I mean, if you put that ballpark there, you know where the rink is, and right across the highway from the rink is the football stadium.
Yeah, it's wild.
Night.
No pro sports in 2017, and now they'll have 3 of the 4 major ones as soon as Oakland gets in there.
Well, and remember, because I remember going back, the NBA held the All-Star game in Vegas, because here's this. It's the Mecca. It's Vegas. How isn't there a pro sports team there? The NBA held the All-Star game there. It went over huge, of course. So it just felt like, okay, so the NBA is definitely going. Now the race is on to see who can be there second. That they are conceivably going to be the last team there. Bit of a stunner. Because it would work. It would work there too. The NBA would be huge.
Never mind
in Vegas.
F1, and they have the development league there in the summer for the NBA. Like the notion that pro sports wouldn't work in Vegas in hindsight might have been the silliest take anyone's ever had. Hey, this place that people all over the world. Go ahead, sorry.
I don't think it was that pro sports wouldn't work. I think it had to do with something it was built upon.
Oh, yeah. No, the gambling risk was a thing for sure before it was legal elsewhere. But there was a lot of people said hockey wouldn't work. I remember doing a show.
While we're talking, it's good we got Village Haunted because Anthony's a big F1 guy up at Village. If you want to kill 7-8 hours of your day, just go and start talking about Red Bull. Max Verstappen, and your day will be shot with Anthony. But I was watching a thing the other day. It was a guy who was driving one of the simulators, and they had the track built for the Vegas F1 race, and they were saying that the stretch that they'll have down the strip is one of the longest in all of F1. So some of the speeds that you're going to see are going to be unlike, you just don't see them anywhere else because of how that track is going to be built. So it's wild. If you know Vegas at all, to see where that thing is going to wind through, wild. I don't know how they're going to put that whole thing together. And I know there's going to be some permanent changes. There's some thought that stretches of the strip just won't allow for traffic anymore, because they're going to have to shut it down and kind of rebuild a chunk of it. Maybe there'll just be parts of it that'll be for pedestrians only, but it's a massive undertaking. God. To go.
You familiar with the body, Daniel Vogelbach for the Mets? Have a listen to his new walk-up song, which is interesting choice. Sound up, Jack.
The designated hitter, Daniel Vogelbach.
Are we going to get flagged for it?
Familiar with the? We're going to get flagged. Oh, it's over at stadium. Screw that.
Is it?
You got perfect pitch team. You sing, then we're in trouble. That would be the problem. Unusual choice. Are you familiar with the Milkshake Song? Right? You've heard that?
Love milkshakes. Big rum and butter fan. Me and Serge.
Brings all the Warners to the yard.
That's what the song is not about. As I entered into Google today, Milkshake Song meaning, quote, some speculate milkshake refers to oral sex, or as the artist sings about.
Probably unnecessary for you to go down that road.
Don't need that.
No, not at all. 100%.
Elaborate on that.
You could bleep that out. 100% too far.
Right along to the hoops, where Rhett will finally be comfy. Not to the CEBL, but to the NBA Finals, Rhett. Tonight, game one.
Who do
we like? Who are we excited about? Or is it just the TNT panel that will be missing? Because this is, I believe, on ABC.
Love. Yeah, they're done, aren't they? That's too bad. I'm a big fan of the name of the team in the Mile High City. So let's go Nugs. Start picking.
Nugs.
How many nuggets in one setting do you think is your record?
Probably 40.
Yeah.
Food. 42. I owe you.
That's the thing, right? Because you get the 40 pack. Is that just where that's max? Or could you have snuck in another 2, 3, or 4 if they were kicking around?
I can do more. Come on. And what kind of time frame are we talking in? I'm the king of this pigging out and moving the food from the table to the counter.
Yeah.
And 7 minutes later, taking a scoop or two, right?
Grazing,
like if it just sits there, I'm going to eat it.
I feel like it needs to be a timed situation in one sitting. Because, we can all kind of graze.
Yeah. No.
And are we trying to reach our best? Or is this one of those try your hardest things? Or is this just, I'll eat 40?
No, it's got to be a challenge. I think there has to be something on the line. It's a challenge. Your pride has been called into question.
It's not, there's little things. You could eat 60.
I feel like we got that on tape now. I owe 42.
Well, how hard is 20? How hard is 20?
Not.
20 is not hard.
It's right. So to get to 30 would be easy. If they had 30 in the package instead of 20, you'd do 30.
So Retro, because you're an eater, and as a fellow eater, I'll ask you this question. If you were going to prepare for something like this, would you not eat all day so that you're starving? Thus, maybe your stomach kind of contracts a little bit. Or do you kind of just eat along the way leading up to it so that you're constantly digesting food so that once this starts, your motor's already running?
Do you want me to give you the honest truth, or just I could do it normally to begin with, and if I want to if it's really worth it, I might light up a big fatty and then attack.
Okay. See you later.
Milkshake? Let's move along, shall we?
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Yeah, it's better than yours.
My
Retro.
milkshake's bigger than yours.
You want to coach in the NBA? You should, because they're
No.
making a ton of
Can't
money.
shoot.
Look at this. Monty Williams, 6
Monty!
years, 78.5. Monty, 78.5 million. And it has the potential to go another year or two beyond that, where it could reach close to $100 million.
Middle class America. We're done. Middle class people, we're done. It's over.
Yeah.
You gotta get the triangle, dust that off, get a whiteboard out. Let's go. Hey,
Yeah.
That's so much money to be a coach.
a lot.
Good
Yeah,
night.
good for Mama Monty.
When are you eating those nuggets, by the way, Pinder? Because we're now years that you've...
We are probably a year and a half. I have not ducked, but I do think we should make it an event. So
right.
if you are a nugget making establishment, let's come up with something. And we could also sell tickets for people to watch Rhett eat wings, which is an event you will never forget.
I
It's
think
gonna be
we're looking for... We're having all these meetings about, content for the summer.
There's a show.
I think
All right.
that's an easy one.
Get a venue locked in. Get the Wolverine on it.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to roll a big fatty, as Rhett would say, or
No.
smoke a big?
I will. I think you probably want to keep a normal sked to keep that stomach expanded a bit. You don't want to go in tiny tummy.
Because you're like a
And then
friggin'
just,
bird. You eat seeds and plants and shit.
I'm not a
your body's
bird,
not going
but
to.
I definitely have a lot of. This will be a lot more meat than I'm.
Your
drinking
body's going to
usually.
revolt on you. Oh my God, what's happening? This is not tofu.
My wife's going to be like, "You're shaving 3 years off your life." Sorry, I lost the fantasy football bet. What am I supposed to do? Is this or panhandle my underwear on 17th? I'm doing the Nuggets.
And with the round up to 60, makes it tricky.
No. So we'll go back to Atco Field. Tommy Wheeldon Jr. on the rivalry with Forge Rhett. He doesn't get along with their head coach, Bobby Smirnitis. Oh,
I don't even like the guy's name.
Beef.
Heated on the pitch. What is it like coach to coach?
Listen, we don't send each other Christmas cards, that's for sure. We don't have a relationship outside of the game. I think there's respect because, I respect before what they've done with the CPL. Bobby and his brother Costa with Sigma. They've built things very much and similar to how we tried to build things with the Calgary Foothills program and now the partnerships with the other CMSA clubs. I think there's respect because I know that when we play against each other, we have to be at our best. And I know they feel that too. So as for relationships after it, probably when we stop competing, there might be a little bit more affable.
I like it.
I love his words. Affable. We've never
know
said
what?
We've never used the word affable before, ever.
So I think what we need to do is, after the game, we get the steel cage out, roll it out on a trailer, and have Tommy and this guy go toe to toe inside the hell in the cell or something. Let's
Are they
go.
both free on June 10? Let's add them to the UFC card. Let's fucking
Let's go to UFC. Yeah, let's roll.
It's a nice idea.
Finally, Rhett, I think you'd be interested in this. You're a doomsday guy. You're the world's going to end. AI or benevolent overlords might not be so kind. Guess what the Home Depot is selling?
Homes.
Modular
Tiny
homes.
houses.
$44,000. I think US. That's a house, Rhett. All you need is a flat
Well,
spot.
if you need any info on it, I've got all of it. So don't worry. I've seen this.
I bet you do.
Look
days.
up top, it's like a little bar, and that could turn into where you hang out with your sniper rifle in the apocalypse. I mean, what a wonderful place.
Don't worry. Dude, this is not news to me.
I'm okay. Well, we're getting it on the show for the people that don't get to hear your conspiracy theories around the clock.
That could be another. That could be another summer segment.
Oh God, that could be a month of summer segments there.
Reality
Do you
is
know
the
44
greatest
grand for a house?
form of humor. Because of course. How many?
Hey, listen
Oh,
here,
what?
dopey dope.
If
If you would listen to me and your sleep habits and all your crap and just take
that's
some advice, you'd be better off.
I told you
I'm
to
trying
buy.
to help take care of you, and I'm gonna be.
Have
I'd
you
rather
bought
not
the bottled
sleep.
water and batteries yet? Well, it's coming. How many
How many
cases
cans
of
of
bottled
tuna?
water is in your
I
basement?
don't have cases of bottled water. You can't leave it in those plastic
Oh,
bottles. It gives you
That's right.
estrogen.
We all have estrogen, right?
Yeah, but it gives you too much.
Maybe that explains my boobies.
Hey, if it's going to be an apocalypse, that would make things a little more entertaining.
My moobs.
That's it for the Pinder report. A really normal one. Thanks, Village Honda.
Jack
Brought
Attack,
to you.
can you please bleep a few things that were said in that one?
You didn't
I
like
know
the
it goes
milkshake?
out live, but
I think the whole milkshake thing between potentially copyright
just
infringement
yank it.
and Pinder's stupid comment about it should probably just be wiped
I
from the
was
record.
reading what Google said. I don't
that remember
Something-
what Boom has always said? You don't have to explain the joke.
You don't explain a joke.
You dove right in, like
you both
you.
cringed. I think it was
You
worth it.
dictionary. You were old school. You went into the thesaurus and the dictionary and the Funkin' Wagnalls encyclopedia and threw it out for people just under. Thank you for the clarification, right?
Apparently, some people say that the milkshake that they're referring to inside of the song, Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, and online villagehonda.com. Paying top dollar for your used vehicle. They got $1 million to do it. Sell them your car, truck, van, SUV. You'll get the money and a tropical cruise for 2. Find out more at villagehonda.com.